Welcome to our latest live session. We've actually got two this week. We may even have a third, depending on how we get on today and tomorrow. And the reason for this is partly because we didn't get around to doing one last week, but also Ken and I are in Dublin next week at a Squarespace event. So we're going to struggle to get anywhere that we can create a live session. So for today, we're actually going to extend a session that we already created earlier this week. So if you want a little bit more context, go and visit the Website Builders channel and head over to the live sessions or the live playlist and look at episode 6. In fact, every single live show that I've done is available in a playlist under live recordings. So go and check that out. But episode 6, we covered a real project called Coity Bach, and I've had the permission to be able to use this as an example to showcase how we work on live projects and we work with clients directly. I'm going to try and do that as much as possible with projects going forward as well. And we created a template for emails using Squarespace email campaigns. We took one email that was absolutely huge. We condensed it in ChatGPT to make it shorter and sharper. And what we did then at that point was to add a call to action button that would take us through to a landing page. We haven't designed that landing page, so that template can't go out yet. But you may have guessed it, we're going to have a go at creating at least large chunks of that landing page so the client can pick it up and run with it from that point. We're going to try and keep the theme going strong from the rest of the website, and we'll jump in and have a look now. As I said, if you wanted to have a look at how that website's going, it's already live on coitybach.co.uk, but they'll leave a link in the description for you to check that out. But also, I talked through how we designed the website briefly to be able to create the email template that matched the design of the site. We'll have a look at that email template in just a moment before we start creating the landing page. I've also, just to save us a bit of time, copied and pasted the text in ready for the landing page. It's unformatted. It looks really long, tedious, and uninteresting at the moment. And our challenge is to make that look nice and on brand, and also an inviting space that the visitor gets before they visit the property. If I haven't given you context already, this is a holiday let. It's a wooden cabin in the woods in mid Wales perfect for retreats for couples, for example. It doesn't sleep too many people, but it's that perfect getaway with low technology. There is mobile signal, but there's no TV there. There's no distractions. And it's just a place just to go back and kind of reset your mind as well. So everything we want needs to have that kind of getting lost vibe to it. Retreat the day-to-day life, the rat race, and get out into that tranquil environment. So every part of communication, from initial landing on the website through to the booking process, and then the after sales, but pre-visit and then ideally post-visit as well, so we can entice them back again in future or get them to leave testimonials and leave positive reviews. So it's about the customer care, customer satisfaction. And there's something I've used in marketing that's been used for years. I didn't invent this saying, but it's respect the TNT, tiny noticeable things. So these little details on their own don't make up to much, but when we add them all together, TNT is quite an explosive combination. If we get it all wrong, it can blow up in our face. If we get it all right, then it starts that chain reaction. And that's enough of a TNT puns that I need to put out for this one. But we've put out, oh dear. But that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to look at the little details, and I'm working with a client here who's certainly done that with the experience when someone comes to visit it. There's everything from additional extras that tie into the theme and the experience directly, but also we need to now carry that across into the website. So when they receive the 2 weeks out email, which will be probably 2 weeks out, maybe even a week away from this day, a last chance to book any extras, but also to provide them the information they want. At the moment, that's going out in an email. It's got all the information they need. It's providing a lot of customer care from that perspective. But we've had the conversation, and it's not really in keeping with the look and feel that the client wants. And that's partly or mainly due to a technical barrier because there has been no easy way of building templates in Squarespace. That's where, or in, there's been no easy way of creating email templates. But that's where Squarespace email campaigns come in because I believe it's a really intuitive, easy template system to follow. So again, check out episode 6 where I build that template. But also I truncated that information down because it would have been too much for one email. And then I put the button in to view the welcome pack. We're now going to build the welcome pack. And without any further ado, I'm just going to screen share now and we'll jump straight into it. Okay, so hopefully you can see the template. And this is the email template that we constructed in Squarespace email campaigns. This took me probably from start to finish. I can do this comfortably in about 30 minutes. We also uploaded the images to compressor.io. Again, it's covered in that video as well. And that helps just to make this email really fast loading. Even though Squarespace has image compression, it's not as good as other options. And compressor.io is free. I have no affiliation with them. It's just the one I picked. There are others available as well, but it gets really good balance between retaining the quality of the photo and making it a teeny tiny file size so it just loads that much quicker. And I think this email template is stunning. I think the photos make a big difference to that. And we've got a theme now where we can get quite a lot of information, only nowhere near as much as the original email, and break it up with some nice situation photos that will help to get the visitor excited before they stay. Everything from the hot tub, which would be an optional extra, I think, through to larger the location. I'm not sure if the dog is an extra that can be booked with it, but isn't he just a handsome chap? And so we've got everything in place from a nice mixture of kind of experiences and close in of, for example, food spread, etc. We've also got then a photo of the cabin just to set the expectations before going in and an idea of the rural location as well. So I've tried to cover everything in one email. We want to continue this now. So when someone clicks on this welcome pack button, we want a landing page that looks similar, but the beauty of building web pages in Squarespace is we've got so much more flexibility with Squarespace Fluid Engine. Email technology, as I mentioned in the previous video, is still way behind web technology, and that is a big problem. So I'm in Squarespace now. I'm all ready to go. You can see that I've added a page getting ready for your stay. This is the landing page that we're going to work on today, and this is the starting point. So if I was to expand that, we can see there's a lot of information in here that we really want to break down into bite-sized chunks, maybe going for multiple column formats. And I think we're going to try and keep it largely letter format. So it's a personalized landing page. This is already hidden from Google. So if you go to the cog settings here, we can see it's not linked, meaning it's not going to be on the menu system. But that doesn't mean to say that Google won't find it. In time, Google will probably find that page and index it, meaning that it could appear on search engine results pages. It's too soon in the process to bombard the visitor with all of this information, even though not much of it is highly confidential. It's not about that. It's about kind of easing into the experience. Because if someone sees it straight away, it could be confusing, or it could just be too much information that could send someone away from the site thinking that you're just overloading them with info. So our challenge is to strip it back and make it digestible in bite-sized chunks, but also present this content at the right time, which is usually 1 or 2 weeks out. So if I go to the SEO tab here, we can see that I've hidden the page by clicking on this slider from Google. We don't want to do this with most pages, but for a direct landing page, which we don't want to integrate with the website, that's an ideal solution just to keep it as we want. So what we can do now is go to the edit option here, and we can see that we've got one text block, and then we can add new sections. So if I go to add sections, I can see what saved sections we've got in this site already. And we can use some of these pre-existing structures like, for example, these four images here. We need a hero section. Let's have a look at this one, and we'll just, so we can see that's been uploaded as an image. So we can swap that out for a photo in a bit. And if you don't find any save sections on your site, what you can do, I'm just going to save it here, exit. You can go to any page that you've already created. And this is one of my favorite features with Squarespace. And I quite like this two-column split here. So Ken created this website, and he takes the lead on most of our design projects because I'm spending my time doing this. And we don't need a call to action section. I think that could be quite nice to have this in somewhere. That's the booking form section, which we don't need. I'll save this one as well as a favorite. But what we're doing is we're adding them to the favorite section now, so we can bring them into another page. And these are grayed out. This is because this is the footer section here. And so when we hover over it, we can edit the site footer. But what we can't do is save footer sections as favorites to use elsewhere. It's treated as a separate entity. If we look at FAQs, we've got, I think what we can do is bring this back into that welcome pack page, just in case someone hasn't seen that already. And maybe that's the photo we go with the welcome message, which I think sets a nice scene there as well. Have a look at extras. Yeah, that does a nice job there of breaking down the extras. So I think we're going to save this as well, because the email does break down the extras in terms of booking them. And then we may put an inquiry form or a link to where they can order those as per the email. Okay. We've now got all of those sections saved, and it's a case now of building out the structure and then copy and pasting the text across, which is probably going to be quicker than the alternative of just starting from scratch or working with this area and trying to style this. If that doesn't make sense, it will do, hopefully, in a few moments. So I'm going to use this as the masthead because we want to get into the content as quickly as possible. I'm definitely going to want to use an image gallery to break up the page. Oh, getting ready for your stay, I think, wasn't it? Okay. Now we'll probably go in with that two-paragraph breakdown to start with, if I can find it. That one there. So what I'm going to do first is take this. I don't think we need the hi there because it's not directly an email. Let's just, so sometimes when I paste it after the first character. That means it keeps all the styling. So a couple of little typos. Nearly is better because this is going to be 1 or 2 weeks out. Wood-fired, I'd normally go hyphenated. So just a couple of, we could change that anyway. So we probably need to just tweak the wording of this as well. And let's just, Okay, I'm going to underline this here. So if we highlight the text, we've got an underline option here, and we'll keep it in keeping with the look and feel of the site. But that's something then that jumps out a little bit as well, because we're trying to eradicate as many stressed inquiries with someone's trying to get in touch, and obviously because they're lost en route, which is kind of not the best experience. So I'm going to, again, paste it after the first letter, sometimes because it will just choose its own formatting. Okay, we don't need a call to action here because this is kind of the destination page. There will be call to actions further down, I think, like booking extra excursions, stuff like that. But um, I think that's looking nice as a starting point. And we can see the difference between this content here and this here. So we've already taken that section out. So I'm just removing this. We're going to delete this entire block at the end of it. We're just using it to easily bring content in so we don't have to switch tabs to like a Google Doc, for example, for this. Okay, so I think we can add a section on the hot tub. And I'm looking for maybe something like this here. And I do like the two image combination, but this will depend on what we've got in the image library to use. So if we have a look through the photos, we've got one hot tub photo here, another one there, but I'm not sure. I think that's the same one. Oh, we could use this one as well. Perfect. So we're using the assets we've already got. Let's have a look now. Let's see if we can dig out the other photo. There we go. So hopefully you can see for a landing page, it's about the experience and breaking down the content so it's nice and easy to flow through. We're thinking magazine as opposed to text Word document. And we've already done the hard work in building these professional layouts within Squarespace. This was actually built using SquareForge. And if I just jump out of this, we've got all of the starting structures already here. So most of the layouts in this page have been adapted from this. So if we were to look at, say, content blocks and look at the short content blocks here, these are all pre-existing structures that are minimalist and easy to use. So like a 3-column layout here that's already pre-made. Squarespace has its own templates, but I find them limiting. We've got 300 different page structures here, which makes a huge difference. And then when we go on to signposts, this is something that Squarespace is quite weak on in understanding how to signpost different content. So like anything from simple ones to photos to the circular ones here, the details to offset ones. And we're at the point now where we've got enough layouts that suit this website that we've adapted from here, filled it out with content, tweaked it. So we could probably get rid of all of these folders now, which are the Forge sections. But that's how it works. We sell SquareForge as a one-off $297 fee, and you start with a SquareForge template, and then you build out the pages one at a time. If I show you, and the reason why I'm there's two reasons why I love this product. One is I'm biased and I built it myself, but mainly we use it on every single project. So things like these card layouts here that are possible to do just with a normal Squarespace layout. And I'm actually creating tutorials to show you how you can recreate these structures yourself without buying SquareForge. But we just find it so much quicker. So switching between, say, two column layout through to card layouts, etc. And then the same as we did earlier, where we went through the layouts and then saved them as favorites. This is what you do here. And then the color palette will then adjust depending on the color settings you choose for your individual site. So once you purchase SquareForge once, you can then duplicate it indefinitely. So don't work on the original version, the master template. You duplicate the site and then you choose the layouts you want and then you start building your page layout by layout. But if you go to squareforge.net, there's loads of tutorials. In fact, there's a tutorial there, but on the support page. No, I need to hook that up. That's very naughty of me. I should have that in place. We've got a load of tutorials that talk you through how to use SquareForge and get the most out of it as well. And we've got a dedicated YouTube channel as well at the moment, although we might be bringing that into our website builders channel. But anyway, so that's SquareForge. It's also available via our coaching community on SKOOL with a K. So that means that if you don't have $300 at the moment, you can actually buy it in our $97 a month coaching plan, and then you get access to me and my team minimally twice a week, but we're actually bumping up the number of live group sessions that we're running. So that's where you can just come and bring all your problems to us as and when you're getting on, but with them. But here's just the example of the layouts now that they've been adapted with all of the fonts and the colors, etc., for this site. But it still looks quite different to the actual live site and the pages. So anyway, that's SquareForge. Just get back to the layout. We can jump in and edit. So let's look at the next section. So we've got this here. I think we probably need a bit more content in there. But what I'm going to do is put the free range eggs here. It may be that it's a higher priority, but I've got a feeling it just kind of flows from that introductory part of the letter. And also, Vicky can go and swap these photos out. Maybe if there's one showing the free range eggs, she can drop that into these photos instead. The same then with the firewood, so it could show the wood burner. In fact, I think we got one, haven't we? Here. So maybe there's one with a better angle showing front on with the wood burner. So if we have a look at this, we'll save that, exit, edit, and let's edit gallery. Edit section would be the structure of it. Edit gallery is the content. And let's add, we'll search for image. And then you've got three options. You've got My Library, Free Image, which is Unsplash, and Premium Images, which I think is Getty. We don't tend to use Getty very often through this. The photos can get quite expensive. Okay, let's have a look here at photos of the wood burner. Perfect. This one is ideal. And everything with the eggs. But this is something, the beauty of this is if they're not available from day one, they can be added at a later date anyway. Lots of photos of the local area. And there's every chance I've gone past it as well. Ah, that looks like a basket of eggs. Okay. I thought I could add two photos at once, but I can't. So I'm just going to find that one of the wood burner again. Okay. Now I've got to look and see um, which photos to remove. I think we can remove this one because that one tells probably the better story of the wood burner. And then let's just going to shuffle them around a little bit as well. There we go. So we've got interior, exterior, focus on wood burner, focus on the egg basket there. I think that works really well. Right. So I think the next natural section is going to be the social media pages, and we can just do something really simple, small signposting for that. I'm going to put that as a underlined again. It might be a little bit heavy-handed, and that's where Vicky can just remove that underline there. But I think it's just more, it's just good so when someone's scanning through, if that interests them, they can see then the price quickly enough. Now this content section is deeper. We could potentially just move that image block down a little bit and center these in relation to them. So that's a good thing with the Fluid Engine. We can adjust accordingly. I think this page is looking really nice now, and I think it's definitely right to get good to get someone in the mood. And I am not doing any of the hard work here. I'm just picking up on the work that Ken's done in creating the layouts and just reusing those layouts to create a professional finish or sheen to it. So I'm going to get rid of this section now, and let's see how much we've got left. We've got a bit left to go yet. Okay, next section. So this needs to be, it only needs to be quite a short section. Um, don't think there's anything suitable quite for what we want. So I'm going to close that down, save it, and we're going to go to SquareForge, and we're going to go to content blocks and let's have a look at not content, and let's have a look at the short ones. Maybe something with a 2-column layout, maybe content classic. That could look quite nice. Or even this one, and then go with a shorter image and then have the URLs linked on the right-hand side here. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. So I'm going to save that as a favorite. I'll also save this one as well as a fallback option. Now we're going to jump back in and let's have a go at building this section. We also need to test this on mobile at the end as well. But because we're using pre-existing structures, there should be minimum mobile editing at this stage. So we'll try that one first. It might be overkill. So I'm going to put a title in here. Don't need a call to action button. Oh, in fact, we do. I'm going to press Command Z and undo that. And we're going to bring it over here because that will be where the links to the social media channels will be. I'm going to make that smaller. And we might just get a stock photo there of social media. What would be quite nice is actually taking a photo of someone on the Facebook or Instagram pages. Instagram, probably. Ah, pressed the wrong button completely. Thankfully, I got away with it. The joys of doing something live. Okay. So what I'm going to do, instead of having it in this format, because we've got more flexibility with the website, is actually create two buttons here. I'm going to go to fill, so it fills the blocks. They'll look a little bit bigger. Um, and go for the primary button. And then I'm going to duplicate this one, move it below. And then I'm going to copy the URLs, remove the kind of the standard link, the placeholder link, and then by default then, because it'll detect, and it's quite a relatively new feature in Squarespace that I like, is when you paste in a URL, it will detect it whether it's an internal page or an external page, and it will auto select open in a new tab if external, which is very handy. That means that if you click on one of those, it'll open a new tab going to the social media pages. Or yeah, and the same then on, I think it will open up the apps if you press them on mobile automatically. That should be the case. Because making sure this works on mobile is also really important, because most people, when they get this email, will are far more likely to be on the mobile. And I would say it would be anything up to 80 to 20%. 80-20, sorry. So 80% likelihood that they're going to be on a mobile device looking at this. I think we can now put in a photo in this section to break it up. Again, Vicky may look at this and think we've got too many photos, but it's about getting the balance right to make it look like a magazine layout. So I could go for a stock photo of, like as I said, a smartphone. But do you know what? I think I'm just going to showcase more of the venue. Everyone knows what Facebook and Instagram looks like if they have accounts with those. One thing that could be quite nice is, as I said, is just like an over-the-shoulder photo of someone on the page whilst they're recording. So that would be a good way of doing that. Okay, so we've got that in place, and we're going to look at the rest of the content in here now. So I'm going to add a new section. In fact, let's have a look here. So now we've got the arrival times. And I think we can probably go into more paragraph layout for this. So I'm going to edit this section above first. So we're going to go with the lighter color there. And now, if we look at the saved sections, um, I think we're going to go back to this structure here. I'm going to put these as headings for statements. Add this in here. Maybe go with heading 4. You can change the size difference because heading 4 actually is a little bit too much of a drop down in size. So maybe we're going to go with yeah, paragraph 1. Let's see what we've got. No, that's too dark. We'll put these in bold as well. There we go. That's better. And I might just hold Shift and Enter to create an extra space there to separate those 3 points. We're getting to a point now where we want to make sure we're getting more of this content in place. So I'm going to put less additional information, put more text content, less visual photo information in photographic content into this. Good grief, the brain's not working today. Let's remove those. So hopefully we can find the cancellation terms and conditions and link to that there. So I think we can probably remove these here and add in we can go straight into the extras, which of course is quite image driven as well. So this balances it up quite nicely. So let's put that text in there. I think what we're going to do is change the format of it. And I'm going to sign off what was an email. I'm just going to tweak this for now, but again, I expect the client fully to go through this and get it to work as per the information they want. So I'm just taking a couple of liberties or just guesstimates with how that's going to work. So we've got 2 sections now, and I think this is going to be the sign-off section at the bottom of the page, hence with the sign-off there. So let's go in and add in optional extras. I want to make sure that that's, and what we're going to do is add a form to book those extras at the bottom of the page. Sometimes what I do is I just actually use Command and minus or Control and minus on Windows PC. This is on Chrome, but I think it will work on most browsers. That allows me to select everything in one go and move that down so I've got a bit more space to put the title in. And then if I hold Command and press 0, it will go back to the 100% view size on there. It's a little hack that's worked well for me when using content management systems for years. Because of the spacing of that, I want it slightly closer to the content than the top of the section for spacing. So I've just selected once and then moved it to the bottom. And what we're going to do now is add a button, or I could add a form. Let's go to the content. We can edit the form fields. We're going to have the name, email, and then what we're going to do is have an optional message. So I'm going to go from that and put it so it's not required. and then add a field for we shouldn't need to sign up for extra news and updates because they do that as part of the process anyway. So this, hopefully I can remove that. And let's go for a radio button section. And now what Vicky can do is just go in and put all the extras in there in that form. The only thing is, visually, that now doesn't look quite as nice because we can see it's dropping down here, and I don't like that. So what we could do instead is double click on it and go to design. There used to be an option that we could just switch it to a button. We can change the form style, which is a relatively new feature, and I like that in Squarespace. Just makes them look a bit nicer. Lightbox mode. So we can change the So the reason I chose the one as a radio button is it allows them to select more than the visitors select more than one option. Um, if we edit the form fields and just see if we can, yeah, we can remove the email sign up option from that as well. But that means now that that form will appear as a light box, and we can just test it now. See how that works. And Vicky can put a text block above that now to say what's going to be in there, and of course just needs to change those options and where the form is sent to via the settings. But we're pretty close now, apart from directions. So again, we can potentially see if there's already a map layout in our saved sections or favorited sections there. Yeah, we've got this map option here. Let's move this content block over here. And we're going to put the directions in. Perfect. So we'll leave that what 3 words, and we'll just change that out. Don't need the logo there, so we can use that extra space. And now it's just a case of formatting this. Get our underline in here again on this one. As I said, this might be a bit heavy-handed, and like it's a balancing act because we want to be as helpful as possible, but at the same time, we don't want to be treating our visitors with contempt. Let's bring this map over here so we can make this look really nice and impactful. And I think we've got the option to remove that. We could also, I'll leave it up to Vicky to decide whether she wants to put the link to the massage therapist's website in that block. There's plenty of space for it if needed as well. This isn't a perfectly finished article yet. Not to find us its directions. I think we'll leave that in as a heading 3. That'll be a heading 2. And then we'll put this back to paragraph 2. Okay. I'm interested to see what you think. There's a little bit of tweaking to do, as I said, with this, and we need to fix it on mobile. I'll have a quick look in just a moment. But if we just preview this page, what we started was with I should have duplicated that page just so we can compare the two, but an empty page with just text only to now what I think is a really nice introductory landing page. Sometimes when people think of landing pages, they think of you're selling a product or service through it. But I think every good service page on or product page on a website needs to look like a landing page. So many times it used to be the case of, and it's still the case with some designers as well, you put so much effort into the homepage of the website that you kind of see a drop off in quality when you go to other pages in the site. We try to avoid that as much as possible so we have a nice flow through the site for even pages that aren't on the menu system. But this should have everything they need before the stay, including the option to book. That needs a little bit of an intro paragraph in terms of instructions of how to book potentially. But I said I'll leave that for Vicky to go through it. We then bring in part of the letter part of it as well, and we can see the directions there below. So so it gets quite text heavy at the bottom. So again, it could be a case of just reordering some of these aspects, maybe even moving the extras in between those sections here, and then changing the section color here to white. And yeah, that could be a nice way of breaking it up a bit more. But that's the desktop view. Let's go and have a look on mobile. Most of it should be pretty good. So that's all looking nice there. We can just bring that up a little bit, just so it flows a bit quicker. We can bring this bottom section up a little bit as well. Actually bring these images down a block. So there's a bit more breathing space there. This section, we need to do a bit more work because we did some resizing on the images, which will impact as well. And we need to move these buttons because we changed the template, if you recall. So let's move those buttons into position. This is a little bit tight to the top. Oops. Command Z to undo that. But again, if we zoom out, you can see this. Sometimes Squarespace does it. I don't know why. It's really annoying because we put that booking form in. It's messed up the rest of the layout. I think we can probably get away with just having these nice and compact, quite close together. There's just the one more to move up. I can now shrink that section, leave a bit of space at the bottom. This then is going to take care of itself pretty much, and then we go into the footer. So that didn't take too long to fix on mobile because, again, we're using pre-existing templates from SquareForge, meaning that most of the legwork in getting the layouts been done. If I put it back to Command 0, just go back to full screen. There we have it. A landing page that looks a lot nicer than the original email, but also has more content than the new trimmed down email that we created in the campaign. So we now have this email that when you click on these welcome pack buttons, so finally we can set these up, and because it's Squarespace email campaigns, we can just find the page automatically. So we don't even need to go and find the URL and copy and paste that in. It's the same link for both. I did press save on this, didn't I? Yeah, we can double check those links as well. But before obviously sending these emails, it's always really important to go and check links. This is a truncated version of the page we've created so that the email doesn't go on forever. It should have all of the most important information. I think that should be probably a bullet point. So now that should auto save, and we can go back and we've got our email template and we've got our landing page. I've enjoyed doing that. It's been nice to have a challenge of taking that content and moving it over into a landing page. Interesting to see what you think. Leave some comments and feedback. Also, what would you like me to cover next? Is it more landing pages, product service pages? Because I do know I spend probably more time when training, showing examples of a homepage, but the website is much more than that, and it's a case of how to work on other areas as well. Do you want me to spend more time on Squarespace email campaigns? We've got loads more tutorials coming in using third-party plugins as well, or I can show you some more ideas of how we can use SquareForge to really speed up the website process as well. Or probably in all likelihood, I'm going to show you tutorials on all of these in our website builders channel. Also, we've got our 2 communities on SKOOL. We've got $15 a month community where you can access all of my training content. We're organizing all of our YouTube videos into categories, making them easy for you to access. You can also leave me and my team questions, and also we're bringing in other professionals into our community as well, so they can help you with your day-to-day headaches and challenges of working with website builders, or indeed other software like Canva, ChatGPT for AI, and anything really in the digital marketing sphere. If you want hands-on coaching with a structured plan around your progression, for example, you're tackling your very first website, or you're looking to transition into offering web design as a service, we have our coaching community at $97 a month. That includes SquareForge, so you can build websites as quickly as I can. And also everything else that we offer, pretty much including our Moonshot program, which is a intensive 6-week program to become a web designer, and all of our courses, everything else as well. And we offer live sessions every single week, so you can jump in. Currently, we're running 2 sessions, but as the community grows, we're going to be adding more, where you can just hop in and tell me something's not working, and I can jump in and help you with it. And everyone who jumps into the call gets a minimum of 10 minutes support every single time. Hope this has helped you. I'm probably going to be back the week after next, unless I get a chance to do another live recording, maybe tomorrow.